In 2024, paleontologists announced a revelation that felt almost cinematic inside a Welsh museum. Fragments of bone had been sitting quietly for more than a century, overlooked and mislabeled. These fragments, once thought unremarkable, belonged to a predator of enormous importance, a newly recognized dinosaur, Newtonsaurus cambrensis. This theropod lived around 200 million years ago, in the waning days of the Triassic. For generations, the fossil remained invisible, hidden in plain sight, while spectacular skeletons from North America and Asia dominated the headlines. Only with a modern technology scanning, digital modeling, and comparative databases did scientists realize that these pieces represented one of Europe's earliest large carnivores. Rediscovery after 125 years feels like opening a time capsule, a reminder that museums are not frozen in time, but are treasure vaults of knowledge. For audiences raised on Indiana Jones adventures, it is a tale of lost artifacts suddenly proving their worth. A jaw fragment, a few teeth, and some bones have now reshaped our view of Europe's Triassic predators. To understand Newtonsaurus, imagine Wales 200 million years ago. It was nothing like the rolling green valleys of today. Positioned near the equator on the supercontinent Pangaea, it was hot, seasonal, and harsh. Summer droughts cracked the ground, while heavy rains brought flash floods that carved through broad floodplains. This ecosystem supported a bizarre cast of animals. Heavily armored dinosaurs plodded through the undergrowth. Crocodile-like phytosaurs lurked in rivers, and giant amphibians clung to wetlands. Dinosaurs were newcomers, sharing the stage with many older reptile lineages. Into this volatile world stepped Newtonsaurus. At nearly 6 meters in length, it was far larger than the average Triassic dinosaur. Most contemporaries were dog-sized or human-sized, but this predator was built for dominance. Its presence proves that Britain was not a backwater, but part of the broader evolutionary surge that was transforming life across Pangaea. For American viewers familiar with Coelophysis in New Mexico or Dilophosaurus in Arizona, the Welsh predator reveals that Europe was marching down a parallel path toward dinosaur supremacy. The journey of Newtonsaurus began in the late 19th century during Britain's fossil fever. Coal miners frequently uncovered bones while cutting through rock. Wealthy collectors, amateur naturalists, and scientists raced to secure specimens, filling cabinets across the country. This was the age that gave the world Iguanodon and Megalosaurus, sparking the birth of the word dinosaur. Yet with thousands of fossils pouring in, not all could be studied. Some were cataloged hastily, tagged, and pushed into drawers. The bones that would one day bear the name Newtonsaurus fell into this category. For decades, they sat quietly, overshadowed by grander discoveries abroad. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the American bone wars were filling museums with dramatic skeletons of Stegosaurus, Allosaurus, and later Rex. British fossils, by comparison, seem fragmentary and incomplete. The Welsh bones were nearly forgotten until researchers armed with modern technology revisited them. Their rediscovery echoes other paleontological stories like the Spinosaurus remains destroyed in World War II and painstakingly reconstructed from old photos decades later. Sometimes, science advances not by digging new ground, but by dusting off forgotten shelves. From the recovered fragments, jawbones, teeth, and sections of limbs, paleontologists built a picture of Newtonsaurus. Its teeth were zivodont, recurved with sharp serrations, like steak knives, ideal for slicing flesh. Unlike blunt crushers, these were precision-cutting tools. Its limb bones suggest a muscular biped with powerful legs for chasing prey. Comparisons reveal its unique place in evolution. It was bulkier than Coelophysis of North America, more advanced than Herrerasaurus of South America, and similar in build to Germany's Liliensternus, another Triassic carnivore. These similarities confirm that large predators were evolving in different corners of the world at roughly the same time. Newtonsaurus was part of this wave, a robust hunter breaking away from the small-bodied theropods of earlier days. Its body may have reached 6 meters, with a deep chest and strong tail for balance. Even with incomplete remains, the message is clear: this was no minor reptile. It was a predator that ruled its ecosystem long before Allosaurus or Rex ever appeared. The significance of Newtonsaurus is timing. Dinosaurs emerged about 230 million years ago, but for tens of millions of years, they remained small and secondary. By 200 million years ago, however, some had begun to grow larger and more specialized. The Welsh predator captures this turning point. Its existence proves that big theropods had already evolved in Europe before the end Triassic extinction. That extinction, driven by massive volcanism as Pangaea split, wiped out many rivals: phytosaurs, atosaurs, and other archosaurs. Dinosaurs were the survivors, poised to dominate for the next 135 million years. Newtonsaurus shows that Europe was not lagging behind. It was producing predators that matched those in South America and North America. For paleontologists, this fills a crucial gap. It ties the early to small theropods to the later giants, showing an evolutionary bridge. For science as a whole, it demonstrates how ecosystems adapt in moments of upheaval. And for the public, it adds another chapter to the story of how dinosaurs seized control of the planet. Britain holds a proud place in paleontology. In 1824, Megalosaurus from Oxfordshire became the first dinosaur formally described. Gideon Mantell uncovered Iguanodon, and Richard Owen coined the very word Dinosauria. Victorian fascination gave rise to the famous Crystal Palace statues, larger-than-life reconstructions that thrilled the public. Yet, in the 20th century, attention shifted. The American West produced complete skeletons of Stegosaurus, Triceratops, and Rex, dominating museums and movies. British fossils, often fragmentary, faded from view. The rediscovery of Newtonsaurus restores Britain's place in the narrative. It shows that the UK was not only the birthplace of dinosaur science, but also home to formidable predators. For American audiences, the comparison is compelling. While Barnum Brown was unearthing Rex in Montana, fossils just as significant were lying forgotten in Wales, just as the U.S. has tales of rediscovered specimens in the Smithsonian and the Field Museum. Britain, too, has treasures waiting for recognition. Newtonsaurus bridges these histories, proving that discovery is never limited to one continent. Picture dawn in Triassic Wales. The sky is streaked red as mist curls off braided rivers. Herds of small herbivorous dinosaurs, perhaps early relatives of Plateosaurus, graze on cycads and ferns. Amphibians stir in the shallows, while reptilian predators patrol the water's edge. Suddenly, movement Newtonsaurus emerges from the trees, nearly 6 meters long. It lowers its head, serrated teeth glinting. The herd senses danger and scatters. With explosive power, the predator lunges. Its muscular legs propel it forward, tail stiff for balance. One herbivore stumbles in the mud, and the theropod strikes, jaws clamping down with knife-edged teeth. Blood darkens the soil as the predator shakes its prey, then drags it into cover. Yet, survival was never guaranteed. Drought could wither vegetation, leaving prey scarce. Floods could sweep carcasses away. Volcanic eruptions rumbled in the distance, signaling a world on the brink of change. For Newtonsaurus, each hunt was both triumph and gamble in a land teetering toward extinction. Why did it take 25 years to recognize this dinosaur? The answer lies in technology. In the 19th century, fossils were examined by eye and compared with drawings. Without complete skeletons, many specimens resisted classification. Today, the toolbox is revolutionary. CT scans reveal hidden structures inside rock without damage. 3D modeling software allows researchers to compare tiny serrations on teeth across global databases. Radiometric dating can pinpoint ages with unprecedented precision. When Welsh fossils were re-examined with these methods, their distinctiveness became undeniable. They didn't match Coelophysis, Liliensternus, or Dilophosaurus. They belong to something new. This story shows that paleontology advances not only by digging, but also by reanalyzing. Across the world, countless fossils in museum drawers await similar treatment. In Washington's Smithsonian, Chicago's Field Museum, and New York's American Museum of Natural History, specimens long ignored could hold similar surprises. Newtonsaurus is proof that rediscovery is as powerful as discovery, and the next revelation may already be hiding behind glass. Beyond science, Newtonsaurus resonates culturally. It demonstrates that museums are not static. They are evolving archives. For the public, the idea that a bone once forgotten can suddenly rewrite history is thrilling. It underscores the value of preserving collections and supporting research. For Wales, it is a point of pride, proof that its land nurtured formidable creatures, and its museums safeguard treasures of global significance. For Americans, the story feels familiar. In Denver, the Morrison quarries yielded Jurassic giants. In Chicago, the Field Museum once reclassified fossils that had sat unexamined for decades. The rediscovery of Newtonsaurus echoes these experiences, reminding audiences that science is never finished. For viewers over 40, the story connects nostalgia with novelty. It recalls Sinclair oil dinosaurs on gas station signs, boyhood museum trips, and evenings watching dinosaur documentaries while proving that discoveries still happen today. It is a bridge between memory and modern science, offering excitement and reassurance that the age of discovery continues. In the end, Newtonsaurus cambrensis stands as more than just another fossil. It is a symbol of patience, curiosity, and the unfinished nature of science. From fragments once neglected, it has emerged as one of Europe's earliest apex predators. Its legacy is threefold. First, it proves that even fragmentary bones matter. What seems insignificant today may revolutionize tomorrow. Second, it restores Britain's role in the global dinosaur saga, reconnecting modern Wales with the Victorian birth of paleontology. Third, it shows that discovery is not confined to deserts and badlands. Sometimes the greatest finds are hiding in plain sight, waiting in museum drawers. For Britain, the predator adds pride to national heritage. For the world, it demonstrates that science thrives on reevaluation. For American audiences, it poses a tantalizing question: what treasures still lie unnoticed in their own museums? The story of Newtonsaurus is both humbling and exhilarating, a reminder that even after 200 years of paleontology, the next great discovery might already be waiting quietly in the shadows.